Hey, hi, and hello there, and welcome back to Jinx Fixes Everything. Located right here in the beautiful, the wonderful League of Legends client that has never had an issue ever. We got Act 3 now available. This is just a forewarning to anybody watching this. First of all, please subscribe to the channel. I would love that. Second of all, spoilers ahead. If you haven't watched the newest season of Arcane, if you haven't caught up with every single act, it was wonderful. It was great. It was a good time. I highly recommend doing so as soon as it is convenient to do. Yeah, very good. I think the whole final season scored like above a 9 across the board, which is just fantastic. It is an absolute banger of a show. Some people don't like it. I had some friends tell me that they just weren't into it, just weren't into the style of it, just what have you. But I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. The final 3 episodes, some of it kind of caught me off guard, but we can talk about it. Let's get right into the old client itself. But yeah, spoilers ahead. Go watch the show. It's a good show, all right? Watch it with friends. Talk about it with friends. You don't necessarily have to play League of Legends. Where
Guess
are we?
up, Jinx. Clock's ticking up on top side. You gotta save their skins. All you need is the gun to do it with.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Wait, this is in the tree house. This is where the firelights are.
Workbench to set my stuff on.
This has got to be in like the firelights like hideaway. So this would be after she escapes from jail, but like before. Is it after she meets up with Echo as well? I guess we'll find out. I think it probably is.
Now stay.
All right, we're gonna fix
Mega
our guns.
gun needs a mega power source.
All right, mega gun needs mega power source.
Just what I need.
Is
Except
this?
their fuel capacity is underwhelming. Suppose I could give them an upgrade.
So is this Heimerdinger's little turret? He was working on a turret, now she's jacking it.
Must not pop bubbles.
All right, it shoots bubbles. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
All that power, just for bubbles. No wonder the firelights need me.
They're very devious bubbles, I would imagine. All right, let's crank it. Give me a tough one.
Powered up fuel
I'm very good at
source.
remembering patterns. Very good at remembering little memory games. Yeah, patterns,
A gun
like I
with
said.
this much juice is gonna need a state-of-the-art cooling system. Now, where to find one?
Okay, I'm kind of liking the puzzles so far. This must be Yeah, this is Heimerdinger's workshop. This is great. There's his little mask.
Never understood the whole mask thing. If I'm shooting ya, I want you to know it was me.
This is great. I like it. All right. Anything else to look at here? Oh,
Echo and his number 2. Guy can pack a punch.
dude, this guy has so many fans. Bat Boy has a lot of fans on Twitter, that is, and I mean, you can imagine why. Just look at him. Also, I think he's a father. Unsurprisingly. All right. I remember don't exactly remember his name, but he's in
Fortune cookie
TFT.
guy wanted to help, but he lost his way.
Alright. Well, let's steal the thing from his
Why,
board.
it isn't my biggest fan. Come here.
You just steal a fan? I mean, hey, you know.
Back to my old pal. What's his name? Guess I need to give him one. Hector. Marvin? Bobo. I'll workshop it.
Oh, what's this?
Penzo. And Little Man. Back when he was even littler.
That's cute. I can't rotate this one. Alright, whatever.
Time to do what I do best. Will besides blowing stuff up.
Alright, good stuff. We're making a gun.
Time for a trial run.
Already? So soon? But I just got here.
Okay, not what I had in mind.
Fair enough.
Gotta get rid of all this hot air. Maybe there's some sort of something near the furnace.
Some sort of something near the furnace. I'll go check that out in a jiffy. I got other things I want to look at. What is
I
it?
gotta get me one of these.
The top. Dude, it's a Beyblade! No wonder she loves it. I would too, dude. Heimerdinger is a Beyblader, dude. For real. Alright. Whoa, okay. The looking still gets a little funky sometimes.
Oh, that one's perfect for my guns. Oh, better make sure it's all clear. Gas first.
I mean, this probably serves no purpose.
Looks like I can shift the airflow around if I move things carefully.
So now that's going up there. I need this. No. Yeah, okay. There we go.
Big Boomy.
Needed to
Prepare for
isolate
your
this pipe.
final piece.
Easy.
No, that name's not gonna stick.
Big Boomy. Time for your final piece. Alright, this is pretty cool. Man, I want to explore so much more, man. I feel like there's I'm doing my best to make sure that I catch every last little bit of fun lore tidbits that they've hidden in here. Alright, whatever.
He's so beautiful. Brings a tear to my eye. You got a real temper on you, Rhino. Rhino! That's a name.
Oh yeah, it's a good name. We can live with that. Alright. Hey, we can explore. Okay.
You would have loved this place, Isha. It's sort of quiet. Just like you. I'll miss you, kid.
Oh. Dude, it is a shame that Isha never got to come here. I get from a story perspective that, like, you know, is very impactful. That, like, you know, this kid that was, like, one of Jinx's last ties to her humanity sacrificed herself. But still, man, it hurts.
What are they even meeting about? Treehouse interior design?
Interesting. What were they even meeting about? I mean, the Firelights were doing a lot of their own little activities, so man, I'm glad that we get to explore more. I thought this was going to be way more isolated. This is awesome. If only the only thing that would make it better is if there was actually like other people here to chat with as well. But I imagine there's like a lot of shit going on. Another Beyblade? Let's go, dude.
Our first prototype launched right off the ramp and into the sump. The next one we made waterproof.
This looks fun. One wheels do exist. One wheel things like that do exist for, you know. I don't think they're very cheap, but they're around. Oh.
This is who I'm doing it for, huh? City of Zon, past and present. And a future worth fighting for. Alright. Let's show them how we do it in Zon.
Can I add Isha to the mural? I've reached the end of it? I'm going to continue to explore the space. I wish that I could add Isha to the mural. That'd be cute. Alright, so we got a little Teemo here. I mean, it's not surprising that there'd be a little Teemo. I mean, that there'd be some sort of reference to Teemo. Who's that? Is that supposed to be like Vander or something? Might be. Yeah, little Teemo. That's cool. There were a lot of champions that I still wish would have shown up in some sort of way in the final season, or you know, this most recent season of Arcane. Big surprise they're doing more, given that it's one of the most critically acclaimed shows I think almost ever. Definitely animated shows, it's up there as like one of the greats. The Studio Fortiche is the studio behind the animation itself. Fantastic job. I think the writers did a good job of taking the bits and pieces of the League of Legends lore, the very sort of cobbled together League of Legends lore, and turning it into a show that doesn't suck, which is amazing in its own right. The writers, they knew what they were doing. They did a good job. Trying to find any other things. All right. No swimming allowed. Sump water contains harmful bacteria and very slimy frogs that bite. Of course, yes. Oh? Oh, imagine. Oh. We're good. Trying to listen for any funky noises. But yeah, I think that, you know, I am not the biggest fan of Riot Games with their layoffs. They've laid off a ton of artists and a ton of people that worked on the lore and stuff like that, and so I heavily criticize them for, I mean, taking the you know, amazing work that these people are doing and then just booting them. You know, it's a little disappointment. Now, I do think, to a degree, a lot of the storytelling in League of Legends, Runeterra, and you know, the related Riot Games properties is still a little goofy. It's still a little thrown together, I want to say. Legends of Runeterra did a good job of tying as much of it together as it could, and sort of revamping and redesigning and doing all these things for the original goofiness of the lore. And I think that that's great. It definitely pushed things in a better direction. Now, some of the issues come from, you know, you can invest all you want in this good lore, but if the studio heads don't see the value in it, then what's the point? I think I've already made a video on this where I talk about how investing in good lore invests in the long-term like staying power in the culture of just whatever, you know, show that you're making, whichever game that you're making, whatever you're doing, you know, having these concrete rule sets for how the world works, which Arcane sort of it the power of things being implied instead of explicitly stated is very important in a lot of storytelling because it leaves, you know, mystery. It leaves there more to be solved for the viewer with like how this magic works. And we learn a lot about what runes mean to Runeterra, you know? It's in the name. Specifically the acceleration rune and how that was like something that Jace used in a lot of the hex tech, you know, obviously to accelerate things, and then how it was used, like the reverse of the rune was used by Echo in order to reverse time. It's you know, when you start explicitly like saying how these things work, I don't want to say that it harms the storytelling, but it starts codifying how future bits of the story need to be told. It starts giving, this is the framework for how these systems work, and now you've got to abide by these rules, which is important, but it means that anybody who's writing any future bits of Runeterra lore, any future bits of storytelling, now we have Arcane canon. What happens in this show that gets broken down by a million different people online, how the, you know, how the science of it works, how the magic of it works, and how it all comes together, you know? Hex tech. Woo! Chem tech. We didn't even get into chem tech. Which is another aspect of it. Now there are established rules for how these things work, and in order to continue the story, everything in the future has to make sense based on those things. I would love to organize my thoughts and really give what I think, you know, what the next season of Arcane might look like. I would love to. Or, you know, how I thought, like, so going back into the champions, how in the end of the show, they show Orianna. You know, that was great. They show, you know, Singed, you know, accomplished his goal. It's implied that Jinx is still alive. It's, you know, we get the ending shot of Caitlyn and Vi. They're pretty close to their in-game, you know, supposed stories where they are, you know, they're on the chase. Caitlyn has a cool eye patch. Echo is kind of still fighting for, you know, the people of Zaun and the future of Zaun. And, you know, you get a lot of this stuff. And it's very cool. It's very, you know, it's very awesome. But then you have, like, certain characters that you would have expected to see in some degree in Arcane. So, like, my biggest example is Renata Glask. Renata is an older character, so already she I imagine would be a somewhat established person in Zaun. She would be a person that somebody would know. She would at least have some sort of connection to the Chem Barons. Given that she is what the future Chem Baron, she is a future Chem Baron. But she's not there. She doesn't show up in any way. Which, whatever, they might not have been thinking about that. There's tons of characters that their existence is implied, or at least their existence in the future is implied, and we don't see the ramifications of what happens in the show. I wish that there was one extra episode where we got a little bit more of a push of, okay, instead of just that end part of episode 9 where it's like, here's where all the characters are now, you know, their implied endings. Here's a little sneak at Oriana. Here's a little, you know, I'm trying to think. Sorry, there's a million thoughts buzzing around. Here's a little idea of how new hex tech is being made, even though it caused this big old calamity. You know, here's the origins of chemtech. Here's like how things start to push towards the eventual creation of Blitzcrank. Here's how the chemicals start leading to the creation of Dr. Mundo. Here's how, you know, even though the events of Arcane have, you know, they're final, they're done, they've transpired, things have happened. Even though all this has gone down, you know, I would like a little bit more of what the future starts to look like, you know, which makes me a little bit sad that I don't think we're gonna get that. It already took long enough between seasons of Arcane Season 1 and Arcane Season 2. I mean, when did Arcane Season 1 come out? Arcane Season 1 release date. It came out in 2021. Arcane Season 2 just came out in 2024. That's 3 years. I mean, given it's an extremely good show. It's awesome. It's an all-timer. It's probably one of my favorite shows that I've ever watched. And that does go into me being a little bit of a League of Legends lore nerd before it was cool. However, I hate how long it might take to wait for whatever Arcane Season 3 is going to be. Because Arcane Season 3 is implied, obviously, that something is happening in Noxus. And I don't think we're going to get Arcane Season 3 a year from now. Even though next season, a lot of League of Legends, like the Rift is going to be themed around Noxus for the first part of it. Which is crazy. Because unless we're getting Arcane a year from now, why are they splitting up 3 different, you know, seasons? Well, they're not like there's one long season, but 3 different seasons for next year with different themes for, like, the Rift. Summoner's Rift. Sorry. It doesn't make sense to me unless we are getting Arcane Season 3 real quick. But I don't know if they can maintain that level of quality with that level of speed. Going back to other champions that don't get mentioned but are kind of implied. There are champions that don't fit into what the whole story of Arcane had going on. There's just certain ones where it was just like Twitch. Twitch is sort of just a goofy, mutated rat. You know, that's great. They had the little teaser in Season 1 of like the rat that they were messing around with, Shimmer, or Cinch was messing around with. And then, you know, things just sort of, it didn't pan out in anything. It was just sort of like a little, oh, this could be Twitch. And that's fine. Those things occasionally happen. Camille, there's a character that looks like Camille in one of the families in Season 2. If you look sharp at the family meetings that they have going on, one of the characters has a suspiciously similar hairstyle to Camille. Now, all of these character stories still need to be rewritten. If Arcane is the final canon, then there's a lot of timelines that don't make sense. There's a lot of characters' lore, as it is established right now, that doesn't line up with what is teased at the end of episode 9. Like, one of the things is Swain with one of his birds. It's implied it's implied that like Swain knows about Hextech. He goes for the crystal. His little bird pecks at it. Everybody recognizes Beatrice, and the thing is, Swain isn't. If the next season is gonna, you know, center around Noxus, it would supposedly have to do something with the Ionian invasion. Given the timeline, and Singed is supposed to be a big part of that. But Singed is back in Zaun after saving Oriana. So then does he leave? It's like, you don't know. But overall, I will cap all of this off since we finished the game and I've just been ranting. My number one rule with like all of this storytelling when it comes to like Runeterra storytelling. Sorry, I'm going full screen now since there's not really much else going on the screen. It's all fine. It's all fun. With any story that you read, the rule that you gotta keep for yourself is just, it's okay. Rewrites to the canon are fine if they improve it. These things happen, especially with a very cobbled together lore like Runeterra is, and piece of media that is video game biographies of characters in a MOBA, combined with trying to make it into a TV show, combined with trying to make a consistent canon across the whole thing. The game, they went a little too fast and loose with like the characters that they were putting out there, and then it all sort of went crazy. The number one rule is they just gotta make it make sense. Okay? That's all that it has to be. With the redesign of Victor, which, once again, if you haven't seen the redesign, I think that it looks cool. Old Victor was a guy who was, he was same backstory, Piltover, science guy, very, had a soft spot for the poor people in Zaun, and then sought to fix them with mechanical enhancements. The glorious evolution was like turning everybody into robots, essentially, getting rid of their human weaknesses and truly becoming glorious machines. His new update, though, like his new updated character, is him at the height of this Hextech Arcane calamity, which at the end of the show I thought Jace sort of cures him of. But now in game he's at like the height of his power, even though in the canon he's going to be past that. It's weird. I think the redesign looks cool. I think the new abilities look cool. I think like it's definitely I think with the storytelling it makes more sense. I like it. And I like that they gave him, more of a slender body type as opposed to, here's another jacked guy, but this jacked guy is a robot. Which, looking at a lot of his skins, he was kind of jacked. And they're leaning more into him being a skinny, like a skinny science type. Which is fine. It's cool. I like it. But yeah, it's a little all over the place, and lore fans are eating. I mean, it's great. It's fun. But the number one rule is always, I mean, I said this with Seraphine, I've said it before with a lot of different, champions, a lot of different releases, a lot of different, stuff that they put out there for this universe. Just make it make sense. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there. I've rambled on for long enough. Go watch Arcane. It's good. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what your thoughts are about the storytelling. If storytelling in Runeterra is something that you're into, also like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. I apologize if my rambling was a little all over the place. I didn't really plan what I was going to talk about. The words just sort of fell out of my mouth, but I do hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.